Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Dragon Valley Conquest on CTE. This has been recently updated. There's also been a few gameplay updates to come along with the map update. We should be getting this soon, hopefully in the holiday patch, but you will be getting the jungle map today, hopefully, in the normal Battlefield 4 patch, so that should be a really cool update. The community map project. Now when it comes to Dragon Valley, this map has graphically been updated quite a bit. It looks a lot better. There's some cool new little features like lots of clouds that block line of sight for air vehicles and a haze that rolls in at one point during the map that blocks line of sight on sniper rifle fire, because this map has got a lot of long range engagements, so reducing that visibility is something that can change up the map mid gameplay. For the most part, the map still remains true to its original style, which is heavily vehicle oriented, very large, so it's hard for infantry to move around quickly on this map. And there's still plenty of air vehicles. There's no longer a scout helicopter as there was in the first iteration of this map. There's still transport helicopters and attack helicopters though, plus an attack jet and a stealth jet. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, I was surprised that so many people wanted to see Dragon Valley remade in Battlefield 4. It's not to say that it's necessarily a bad map overall. It definitely caters to the armor user or the air vehicle user, but the thing that surprised me about it is that we already have so many maps that cater to armor and air in Battlefield 4. Not as many that cater to infantry, and you could argue that every map has sort of a TDM version of itself, but when it comes to playing like good tactical game modes like Conquest, there aren't a lot that really cater to infantry that are at least well designed. So I was surprised when I saw that we were getting another armor map, and not just an armor map, but a huge armored map. It can be a little bit tricky to move around this map as infantry, and you're going to spend a lot of time traveling around unless you just play the C and E point. And I saw that that seemed to be just the popular thing to do for most infantry, is they would just fight over C and E, and then the other capture points would kind of be left alone for a while. In fact, I saw some of the basic capture points all the way back towards certain teams' deployments that were never really messed with because it took so long to get there that people just weren't interested. They wanted to be where the action was, they wanted to be where the combat was, and if you're infantry, that is definitely the central points C and E. And those play out really well. Sometimes the air vehicle bombardment can be a little bit over the top if you get attack helicopters, transport helis, and the attack jet doing attack runs on you. As infantry can get a little bit much, but I found just spawning in with an engineer using the Stinger. I'm not a huge fan of the Stinger rocket, but it's a great way to at least keep air vehicles away from you. This allowed me to just sort of focus on the infantry fight and then occasionally take down air vehicles when they came in for the strafing run. Now, if you can hold both C and E, it provides you a great launch off point for attacks on the surrounding capture points. Since you are in an elevated position, you can usually parachute down or just spawn more infantry there and usually get to the other capture points pretty quickly. The problem is once you get to those capture points, returning back to the central C&E can be a bit of a pain in the butt because you have to trek all the way up a hill and a mountain, and usually you're going to get killed before you even get close. Now, one area of this map that definitely needs some work is the out of bounds locations, because right now helicopters can transport infantry up into tall parts of mountaintops and parts of the map, and they can place down spawn beacons up there that are out of line of sight of anybody playing infantry in the normal area of the map, and basically they can spawn in as snipers there and just snipe you from really hard to reach locations, and you can never get rid of their spawn beacon unless you also fly a helicopter or a jet over there and try and kill it that way. And it's not that easy to do, especially if they're set up with stingers or other things like that. So I feel like exploiting the out of bounds or impossible to reach locations by using helicopters is a little bit of a game breaking feature currently in this map, and I think that definitely needs to be addressed. Now, there's also quite a few sniper locations in this map that don't necessarily contribute to the gameplay. And what I mean by this is that yeah, sure, sniping can be good and beneficial and fun all at the same time, but some of the best sniper perches in this map are in areas that don't help out your team in terms of like defending objectives or situating yourself in a position that allows you to attack a new objective. And I find that to be a little bit unfortunate because people will just go way up into these hills, far away from the map, far away from objectives, and just try and get long-range sniper kills that kind of annoy people, I think, in the long run, but ultimately don't really help out the team as much. And I think some of these areas could either be closed off or just changed up a bit so they're not as good of sniper perches, and force some of the recon class to play more on the objectives themselves, because sniping from the objective points like C and E is a perfectly good way to play the game. You can still get plenty of long-range sniper kills, but then you also have to transition to a little bit of medium or even close-range gameplay when somebody attacks your objective, and that way it forces the snipers into playing the objective a little bit more rather than going off to some really far corner of the map and sniping from there in a position that's not really going to help anybody out. We'll have to see if the point allocation for long-range headshots changes this up in the long run. In CTE, there still seem to be plenty of people wanting to troll and just snipe from extremely long range and hard to reach places, regardless of the fact that they weren't getting a huge amount of benefits for the marksman headshots anymore. Now, something you might notice with the C4 in this latest CTE patch is that it seems to have a reduced blast radius, but it also takes 3 sticks of C4 to take down a piece of armor like a tank or an APC instead of the usual 2. Which is kind of unfortunate, and it definitely took me a little while to get used to, but I hope they change it back to 2, just because I think it takes too long to get 3 sticks of C4 onto a vehicle. Most of the time they're able to thwart you. 2 seems to be sort of that magic number, that magic time limit that is slightly more attainable. And if you're able to sneak up on a piece of armor, then I don't think the requirement once you get there should be to stand around for a long period of time putting explosives on it before you can get the kill. It's got to be pretty fast because you have so many things that are able to kill you while you're trying to blow up that tank, like tons of other infantry most of the time. Now, to be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't really like this map that much. Even for an armor map, I think it's not particularly great. I think the southernmost capture points, F, G, and H, have really shitty infantry cover. They're very hard to reach unless you have a helicopter or something extremely fast to get all the way across the map, and there just aren't very good paths to get there quickly or efficiently. Most of the action takes place close to C and E because you can get to it quickly from C and E, where the other capture points you just can't. So I think the overall size and balance of the map just doesn't work that well, especially for the southern end of the map. I think anybody playing from the south side, if your headquarters or your base is over there, is generally going to have an advantage because C and E offers such a good attack launch off point for taking the northern points that most people just don't want to go for the southern points. The action is not very fun around there. So I think this map could use a huge overhaul and a lot of balance regarding the southernmost capture points and a lot of incentive for people to go there and fight there. Otherwise, I think it's just going to be sort of a map that people can jump onto, play as armor and air, and not really care too much about the actual capture points themselves. Now, if you're not a huge fan of armor or air and this map just doesn't seem like something that's going to appeal to you in the long run, well, that's okay, because you're getting the community map project today in today's Battlefield 4 patch. So go download that, check it out, and hopefully we'll see some nice updates for Dragon Valley in the future. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.